What's the healthiest vegetable side dish you're not eating enough of? Cabbage. And I have got the best recipe to make it absolutely freaking delicious. Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Tansey. I'm the author of Uncomplicated. I'm a recipe developer and I've developed over 10,000 recipes in my career. If you learned something in this video, give it a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you get a notification every Wednesday when I upload new videos. Cabbage is incredible. It is healthy. It is low carb. It is immune boosting. It is antioxidant. Guys, it's versatile and it's so delicious. Forget everything you know about cabbage because you are about to become its biggest fan. This head of cabbage is red. I know it's actually purple, but we call it red cabbage. You can use any kind of cabbage you want, green cabbage, Savoy cabbage, the list goes on. We're gonna do red today. And I'm gonna make sauteed buttered cabbage. So the first thing to do is to get an onion started in a frying pan. So to make buttered cabbage, you need butter, hot tip. But when you're sauteing in butter, it can kind of burn a bit. So the best thing to do is to start with a mix of butter and plain oil, like canola oil. So I'm gonna add a nice big lump of butter in here. Pan's already on high heat, just to get it really hot. And then just a little squirt of oil. So this will prevent the butter from burning and ultimately make for a better dish. Now, once that butter is melted, I'm gonna chuck in the onion. So now that the onion is cooking, I'm gonna give it a little stir and turn the heat down a little bit as well. It's great to have the heat really high when you get started, but I don't want the onions to burn, so I'm gonna reduce the temperature a bit while I slice up the cabbage. Okay, let's talk about cabbage. It's big, it's heavy, it's cheap, it's everywhere. Cabbage can be a little bit hard to slice, but I'm gonna make it manageable. Okay, watch this. Take off the outer leaves. And then I'm just gonna slice it right in half. Now this is a lot harder than it sounds because this thing is so big and so dense. I often have to get up on my tippy toes to really get the leverage. There we go. Whew. Okay, take a break. It's like nature's most beautiful piece of art. I love that. Okay, so now that it is in some more manageable sized pieces, I'm gonna cut it into quarters. And then I'm gonna take this core out because that's kind of woody and thick. Now, I always joke to my culinary classes that cabbage is a great vegetable to practice your knife skills on. There's nothing really to it. You just gotta kind of slice it. Whew, okay, sliced. Let's crank the heat back up underneath those onions. And once it starts to bubble again, I'm gonna get all of that cabbage into the pan. Add a little bit of salt and give it a nice good stir around. All right, nice good dose of salt. We're just gonna stir everything around so that the onions mix with the cabbage, so that the cabbage gets covered in butter, and that salt gets evenly distributed everywhere. And the heat is on high, so things are moving at a pretty good speed right now, which is perfect. So once the cabbage and onions have been cooking together for a little while, get in there and give it another good stir. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of liquid and put the lid back on to let it almost sort of braise and tenderize and become delicious. So that's a little bit of chicken broth. I just use the stuff from concentrate. And then a little bit of dry white wine, which I can never seem to keep around. So I have this huge bottle of dry white vermouth, which is an excellent substitute. If you don't want to use wine, you can just use more chicken broth, or you can even just use water. So once it's bubbling again, I'm going to reduce the heat and get the lid back on to let it start to cook a little bit more slowly. The cabbage has been cooking for a couple of minutes. Let's take a little look. Nice and steamy. The wine and the chicken broth smells so good. Ooh. There's still quite a bit of liquid in there, so I'm gonna let it boil pretty hard so that the liquid really concentrates into a delicious, buttery, winey sauce. While that's happening, I'm gonna hit it with a bit of pepper. And in a minute, I'm gonna taste it and see if it needs a little more salt. Needs more salt. If there is a health claim that you can think of, cabbage is good for it. Immune boosting, antioxidant, low carb, high fiber, eating local. It's great for everything. So that's why you should be adding cabbage to your diet. It's really, really delicious. Just don't overcook it. That is the cardinal rule. Keep it tender, crisp. I'm telling you, you're gonna be a cabbage fan in like about 3 minutes. Now, if you've got it, fresh dill is really delicious in this. If you don't have it, don't worry. One last little flourish here, just a drop or two of vinegar. It really brightens up the dish and makes it that much more yum, yum, yum. And this is ready to be served. You get a pretty serving bowl for this. That is saucy and crisp and beautiful and flavorful. Isn't that just gorgeous and so fast? You're gonna love cabbage. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. And remember, life is complicated. Cooking shouldn't be. Happy cooking. Hey, if I've turned you into a cabbage lover, you gotta try my buttermilk ranch dressing. It's perfect for coleslaw.